Today we recognize the generosity and continuing support our neighbors, the City of Fayetteville, have provided to our military families over many years. Members of our local community will receive Department of the Army certificates of appreciation for patriotic civilian service. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 82nd Airborne Division, Major General Curtis M. Scaparrotti.
General Casey, General Mulholland, thank you, sir. I'll be very brief. I have the honor of representing the commanders of Fort Bragg and Pope Air Force Base and the soldiers and airmen of Fort Bragg and Pope Air Force Base to just say how much we appreciate the City of Fayetteville and its citizens. Their deep and continued care for our soldiers, our airmen, and their families is so obvious in this community, and it is combat power. Our soldiers, our airmen know that their service and their sacrifice is acknowledged, it's appreciated, and they know their families are going to be cared for when they're deployed, and that means a lot. In just a minute, General Casey will present a print to the mayor and the City of Fayetteville that I think is representative. This print is of an action, one of many actions in Afghanistan, in Nuristan in fact, and depicts an air assault of 7th Special Forces soldiers and 82nd Airborne Division combat aviation in 2007.
The Honorable Tony Schiavone, Mayor of the City of Fayetteville.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to you, General Casey, and everyone gathered here today. I'm proud to be here today representing 210,000 grateful citizens, both as the Mayor of Fayetteville and to share in this special ceremony with each of you today. Proud to have been born here, the son of a soldier, and most proud to live in a military town. If there is to be a recognition of patriotic civilian service, and surely there can be no more appropriate location than this soldier sanctuary city, this military base, and this hallowed parade field where honor and sacrifice are celebrated each and every day. The history of Fayetteville is interwoven with the history of our country's military. The diversity reflected in our citizens provides us a geography lesson on the places of our nation's conflicts over the past century. We join together today to celebrate the promise of new babies and booties. But indeed, our community has lived that type of commitment for decades. We stood with the families at train tracks and bus stations to see soldiers leave for places like Sicily and Anzio. We were at the Green Ramp to see them return from places like Fallujah and Kandahar. And through it all, we've been there in support of the families that they left behind. You see, war is not a political word in Fayetteville. War is where our families and our friends go to protect the freedom that our country enjoys. The news of the wounded and the killed aren't merely faces and unfamiliar names. It's different when they're your friends, the ones you play with, shop with, the ones you pray with every day in your community. It's different when you see the strains and stress from frequent and lengthy deployments in the faces of the people that you love. It's different when you feel their loss in your heart. And it's different when you see their families' courage and the willingness to sacrifice for our freedom up close and personal. Truly to live beside those types of American heroes is to live in Fayetteville. Today's recognition reaffirms a long-standing commitment of people who care. Moms and dads, families and friends, local businesses, and everyday people. And it tells the story of a city that cares. As mayor, I'm proud to say that not just today, but every day, Fayetteville cares.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief of Staff of the United States Army, General George W. Casey, Jr.
Thank you all very much, Mayor. Those were absolutely wonderful words, and it's quite easy to see where the caring of this whole community starts. So thank you for what you do here. This is has been a great day for me, and this ceremony allows me to highlight three things that are important to the long-term health of our Army. First is families, second is communities, and third is non-commissioned officers. We recognize that the community support for our families was going to be integral, again, to the long-term health of our force. And so last year we started a community covenant where communities around the country came out and pledged support to the soldiers and families. Fayetteville was way ahead of that, and I think it was about June of last year we actually signed that covenant. But what you've done here and what you've been recognized here today is exactly the type of community support and sentiment that we were hoping to generate with that. And as I said, Fayetteville has always been way ahead of the curve on helping us take care of our soldiers and our families. And we set out over the course of this year to do three things. First is to recognize the contributions of our non-commissioned officers to this Army and to this country. And as I looked around, it was clear to me that it is our non-commissioned officers who are providing the glue that's actually holding this force together in a difficult period, and at the same time allowing us to accomplish the near impossible every day. This non-commissioned officer corps is the envy of every Army in the world, bar none. Every time I have a visit, I just had my Brazilian counterpart in. First thing they want to talk about is how do I get non-commissioned officers like yours? And the third thing we want to do is enhance their leadership skills to give them even better capabilities to deal with the challenges of the 21st century.